Brendan Eich literally wrote the language of the modern internet in 10 sleepless days and spent the next 3 decades trying to fix what it became. He isn't just a programmer, but the architect of the browser wars, the creator of JavaScript, and a tech CEO who was cancelled before that term even existed. From the desperate coding sprint at Netscape to a billion-dollar crypto browser project, his career is a blueprint of Silicon Valley's highest highs and most brutal lows. We must determine exactly how much the man who built the web is actually worth. Netscape Communications was in a panic in May 1995 because Microsoft was coming for them, and they needed a secret weapon. They recruited brilliant engineer Brendan Eich from Silicon Graphics and gave him the impossible deadline of days rather than months. Eich locked himself in a room fueled by caffeine and pressure to write the prototype for a new language in exactly 10 days. Management forced him to make the syntax look like Java because it was the hot language of the moment, even though the two had nothing in common. They called it Mocha and then LiveScript before settling on JavaScript. This rush job was a glue language meant for amateurs, yet that hastily written code now powers over 98% of all websites on Earth. It was the digital equivalent of building a skyscraper's foundation with duct tape that effectively held up the entire world. Eich didn't quit after Netscape fell to Microsoft. He helped co-found Mozilla in 1998 to build Firefox as the first browser to challenge Internet Explorer's monopoly. He served as the technical leader of the organization for over a decade and eventually ascended to CEO in March 2014. But his tenure lasted just 11 days. A political donation ousted him, rather than a business failure. News surfaced that Eich had donated $1,000 to California's Proposition 8 campaign against same-sex marriage 6 years prior. The instantaneous backlash saw dating site OkCupid block Firefox users, while employees demanded his resignation and the board pressured him to step down. Eich chose to resign and leave the company he built. This defining moment in tech history marked one of the first high-profile examples of a CEO losing their job over personal political spending, and signaled a major cultural shift in Silicon Valley. Most executives would have retired, but Eich saw that the ad tech surveillance economy he inadvertently helped create was destroying user privacy. He founded Brave Software in 2015 with the plan to block ads by default and pay users to pay attention. He funded this by turning to crypto rather than just venture capital. Brave launched an initial coin offering for the Basic Attention Token, or BAT, on May 31st, 2017. The sale ended in 30 seconds, despite being scheduled to last for days. They raised $35 million in half a minute at a record-breaking speed that surprised the financial world. This war chest represented a major comeback. Eich bet that users were tired of being the product, so he built a browser that paid them to surf the web, and effectively inverted the entire digital advertising model. We must examine what the architect of the web is actually worth today. Internet sources recklessly throw around billion-dollar estimates, but the reality is more complex. Eich's wealth comes from 3 distinct eras, including the Netscape IPO in the 90s, which was the largest in history at the time. He also likely retained a major stake in the token ecosystem as the founder of BAT. The real heavyweight is his equity in Brave Software, because the company was valued near $1 billion by 2024. Eich's fortune is tied up in private equity and digital assets, unlike a public CEO with a disclosed salary. Conservative estimates place his net worth in the mid-8 figures, while bullish analysts suggest the liquidity of his Brave stake could push him much higher. He is not just rich in cash, but owns a large slice of the alternative internet. Brendan Eich remains the CEO of Brave as of early 2026, and he hasn't slowed down. His war has shifted from simple ad blocking to a metaphysical rebellion against big tech surveillance. Brave has surged past 100 million monthly active users under his leadership to prove that privacy is a viable business model. He is currently aggressively integrating AI into the browser, with Brave's private AI assistant Leo to challenge the dominance of ChatGPT and Google Gemini. Critics still linger on his past controversies, yet his technical influence is undeniable. He spends his days shipping code and sparring with Silicon Valley giants on X to fix the broken parts of the web he helped build 30 years ago. He is one of the few founders from the 90s who is still relevant, coding, and fighting. Brendan Eich's legacy is complicated, but his impact is absolute. You are using the tool he forged in 10 days every time you click a button or fill out a form online. He proved that you can be exiled from the industry you helped build and still force your way back in by building something better. Subscribe to see more stories about the figures who secretly run the digital world.